Future Hornets, current Hornets, forever Hornets, welcome back to another episode of What's the Buzz. I'm your host, Pitt, and I have probably one of the greatest resources on campus sitting next to me today for this here episode. Director of Student Success, Intercultural Student Life, and First Generation, Director Ron Dillard is with us in the set today. How we doing, Brother Ron?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me.
Man, thank you for your time. This has been a long time coming.
Yes, sir.
When we first met, kind of just start talking about, your role in the Intercultural Center and how crucial and how valuable and how beneficial that is to, BIPOC students or just students in general being on campus and first generation students. And you hit the ground running, man. And I'm excited to hear what are some things that you've kind of, have done since you've been in this position, some things that you're looking to do. Now, overall, just like your life experience, man, because you've been in the game for quite some time, right?
Yeah, I'm like Kobe.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun, right? It's gonna be fun. So just to get things started, man, just tell us about yourself. Your background and how you found yourself in higher education.
So originally born and raised in Detroit, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up as the middle child. My mom would instill in us education.
Yeah.
I remember her telling me that you're going to go to college. I didn't fully understand what was on the other side of the curtain.
Yeah.
And, but I was destined to explore that. And so I graduated from Renaissance. A good friend of mine, Patrick, encouraged me to go to college because when we graduated, I didn't go to college. I actually started working at Target.
Yeah.
And that was hard work and it wasn't really stimulating me. And Patrick would call me all the time and say, this is what's going on here.
Yeah.
He was at Western Michigan. And he would encourage me. And I didn't understand what he was really doing. And before I knew it, I had applied, been accepted to Western, and I was his roommate.
You was on your way. Why not go to college right out of high school?
Well, one, we didn't have the money. I didn't have a college fund.
Yeah, that's real.
I didn't understand what filling out financial aid meant. I did not understand the difference between loan, grant, and scholarship. So I would say if going to college was a video game, I didn't have the tutorial to practice.
Got you. Do you still think today that a lot of those things that hindered you from seeing college as a valuable thing is hindering a lot of first generation students today still?
I do. If you don't understand the financial aspects, I'm going to avoid it. If you don't understand what you want to study, you might avoid it.
Yeah.
I think that COVID-19 has kind of changed the way that we do education. These students that are coming to college now were in school during COVID.
Yeah.
And they pivoted to online education. And I believe that that might have something to do with motivation. Also, there are these messages going around today that college is not necessary.
Right. The value is different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we live in a society now where some people can become online content creators and that can be very lucrative for them.
For sure.
And then you might have students who have friends who did not go to college who are making decent money. And so there's a question mark as to the value of college.
Before you got to Kalamazoo College, you were at Western. Talk to me about, your experience there and then how you end up finding yourself here at K.
So while I was working at Western, I worked a few jobs. One of those jobs I worked was in financial aid.
Yeah.
And working in financial aid gave me the opportunity to answer some of the questions that I came into college having. I was able to peek behind the curtain and see what goes on and have conversations with families to understand their concerns and their questions about the jargon, because we use all of these words and we assume as professionals that folks understand what we're talking about.
Right.
Sometimes the questions are simply, what does that word mean? So I worked at financial aid. I also worked with a group of students called the CETA Scholars. And so these were students who have aged out of foster care. They got a scholarship to attend Western, but they also got support from campus coaches. And it kind of cued me into some of the themes that college students across the board need to know in order to be successful.
Right.
And I would say those themes are, you have to understand how you're going to pay for this. You have to have supportive others in your corner who can point you in a direction of where to go. And you also have to have a way to connect with college in a way that speaks your language.
Let's break down this title.
Okay.
Director of Students. We're going to go paragraph by paragraph. Director of Student Success. What does that mean to you, student success?
For me, student success is connecting students with people, places, and things that will allow them to grow.
Right.
It's like if you were to plant a garden, you want to make sure that the soil is healthy. You want to water those seeds, and you want to make sure it gets appropriate sunlight. And for me, that is a good analogy for how I see student success.
And then the intercultural student life part. So primarily, you're focusing on BIPOC students, right? Or explain that to me and let me know what does that look like to you.
To me, so in the Intercultural Center, I see students from all over the world, all over the country, students who have different ethnicities, who speak different languages, who eat different food, listen to different music, they pray differently. So every facet of culture and the ways that it can be different coming together in one place. And I see that as a huge benefit. I do see BIPOC students, but I see students of every hue and every nationality.
For sure. And then the first generation part.
So first generation, we are also putting for our efforts to support students who come from families where their parents do not have a college degree. And I think that is important because if your parents have a college degree, they can tell you about scholarships. They can talk to you about what a syllabus is. They can talk to you about what the word matriculation means. So we want to make sure that we are supporting our students who may not have had those conversations around the dinner table and empowering them with information to help them to be successful. We also want to make sure that they understand that they are valued and that their contribution to higher education is invaluable.
For sure.
We also want to make sure that they know that they belong here. As a first generation college student myself, I often felt like I didn't belong. Like I felt like I slipped through the cracks. But now I see that it was my purpose to be in college at that time. And I want to kind of let students who are first generation also know that they belong here as well.
You told me you wrote a book.
Yes.
What is the title of that book?
The book is The Masterpiece, Your College Journey as a Work of Art.
Let's go into that. Let's talk about it. What was the birth child, for that? Like, where did the idea come from? What did the execution look like? What's the, essentially the synopsis of the book?
I was asked to introduce sixth grade students who came to visit Western to introduce the president to them at an event. And the first thing that I thought as an English teacher was that I wanted to recommend a reading list to those students. So I started Googling and looking for these books that I wanted to recommend. And I found a few, but I did not find the one that I had a vision for in my mind. So I made a mental note. Okay, write a book about how students can do the practical things necessary to be successful in college, like finding funds to pay for it, how to select a major, and pitfalls to avoid. And so I had begun to interview people who had graduated from college and who had overcome these obstacles. And then I was thinking, I want to put a picture of these folks in the book, but I don't want it to be a photograph. I want it to be a sketch that an artist does. And so the pieces just kept falling into place like that. And I was interviewing these wonderful people. I interviewed a physician who was originally born in Vietnam. She's now a physician in Canada and a good friend of mine. I interviewed folks who were struggling with their sexuality coming out in college. I interviewed folks who had a disability and how that disability impacted their college journey. I interviewed a young woman who was brought to America via human trafficking. And now she's a nurse. And so what encouraged me to finish the book was that I had all these stories that people shared, intimate details of their lives. And there was no way I could just sit on that. And I hired an artist, Jessica Cruz Cooper, who is an amazing artist. When I saw her artwork, I was like, oh my God, this is the missing piece.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
And so hence the art thing, the masterpiece, your college journey as a work of art. And it is my hope that when students read this book, that they see that, number one, you may have to overcome some things in college.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you can overcome those things.
Yep.
And despite the thing that you're facing, you can graduate, and on the other side of graduation, you can live your dreams through education. So that's how that book came to be.
Where can people find this book?
The book is on Amazon. So if you go to Amazon and you search The Masterpiece, Your College Journey as a Work of Art, and type in my name, you should be able to find it. You can also reach out to me, and if you want a signed copy, I can send it to you.
Yeah, we want a signed copy. No, that's amazing though, man. And I hope people have taken advantage of that book.
Well, Detroit Public Schools,
Yeah.
where I graduated, they just selected my book to be purchased by their schools.
Man, that's what's up. Congratulations, boss.
Thank you. So one of the things that I want to do is I want to go back to Detroit Public Schools and talk about the book,
Yeah.
talk about my journey,
Right.
but also want to play some music for those students because I'm a DJ as well.
Thank you for sitting down with me. Thank you for
Yes,
this
sir.
conversation. Thank you for the perspective. And again, thank you for the work that you do. You know,
I
thank you
appreciate
for the life that you've lived and obedience that you have enacted on, man, because you are exactly where you're supposed to be, and you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm sure, you know, you gon' this I hope this ain't your last stop. You know, I hope that you be able to eventually go off and do greater things on top of the great things that you've already done, because it's people like you who make people like me on college campuses when I was a student feel seen. I'm being uplifted, I'm being encouraged, really put a battery in my back, and I know it put batteries in other people's back to continue to take risks, and continue to lean in, and continue to have this mindset of, you know, it ain't gonna happen overnight, but overnight it's gonna happen, you know?
Yes, sir.
So.
Bars.
Look, I got a couple myself, man. But thank y'all for tuning in. That's another episode of What's the Buzz. Continue to serve, continue to love, continue to do what fulfills you, because it is definitely valuable and beneficial to this world and on these college campuses. And that's the buzz.